जहाँ की नेमते वो पा गया.
Shall we stand? Namastute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Ullara Vindayata Patra Indra Yena Tvaya Bharata Terna Purna Rasvari Namaya Pradipa. प्रेम से बोलिए व्यास भगवान की जय. व्यासाय विष्णु रूपाय व्यास रूपाय विष्णवे नमो ब्रह्मणे वासुदेवाय नमो नमः. सहस्रशिरेका पुरुषः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपाद भूमिगुं सर्वतः स्मृत्वत्यतिष्ठदशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगुं सर्वं जतभूतं जत्यभाव्यम् उतामृतस्येषानो जलनेनातिरोहति वेदावानस्य महिमातो जायाश्च पूरुषः पाचोषेह भवत् पुनः ततो विक्वंवकामशासनान शने अभि ततो विराज जायत विराजो अधि पुरुषः सजातो अत्यर्चत पश्चात् भूमिमतो पुरः तस्मादज्ञात सर्वहुत ऋक्षः सामानि जग्निरे चण्डाकुंसि जग्निरे तस्मात्
Yeah.
जय जय गुरु जय जय शिव
जय जय गुरु जय जय शिव
व्यास महाराज की जय, श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. Devotees, we are blessed another night again. Yeah, please. We are blessed one more time. We are given this beautiful opportunity to listen to our most learned Vyaasji. You know, these elements are to support us from the time we born. Fire, water, air, and earth. Today he's going to tell tonight, I think he's going to tell us about Nama tonight. And I'm very excited to hear. When I went to India and I go and I touch that river and I feel the strength and the energy inside there, I said, my God, one may ask, why is Ganga Ma rushing with all this speed, devotee? But it is true. Or Vyaasji will tell you later on. I don't know going to tell you Katha. But you know, none of us can survive without the drinking of water. When we start our puja, there is the first mantra, Ganga, purification mantra. And tonight, so we have, I see my brother back there, Ram and Mom didn't get a chance to sing. So I call upon them to give us a bhajan, and I'll leave it up to the kirtan group to decide who goes next. We would like to take 2 bhajan tonight, and after that we'll listen to our Vyaasji. I want to thank my brother and his family, and Dad celebrating his birthday, give us a beautiful chance to listen to all the beautiful katha and good wishes and so on. So please, be over to the kirtan group.
आज अंधेरे में है हमारे साथ, ज्ञान के सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में है हमारे साथ, ज्ञान के सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
very Ram. I know we'll call upon the son of, instead of Pandit Yoga tonight, we'll call upon his son, Rudresh, to introduce Vyaasji to us. And you see, the relationship is continuing to grow. And I'm sure Dad will be very happy to see that his grandson is taking, following his footstep also.
When I was 8 years of age, my dad asked me, "Who do you want to be your guru?" And at 8 years old, you're tasked with making such a permanent life decision. And at that age, I didn't really know what the word guru meant as much as I know what it means now. But Pandit Rishi was someone who was always around our family. He was our family Pandit. He always knew a lot. He always knew what to say. He was always around. And he was always very nice. And our family, mine and Pandit Rishi's family, was always very intertwined in that way. So naturally, I told my dad that I would like for Pandit Rishi to be my guru, not knowing the full implications of what that meant. But from when I had my Janeo at 8 years old, all the way until now, every time I have met Vyaasji and Rishiji, every time I've heard him speak, it became more and more and more apparent. Even up until now, I'm 31 years old. Even up until now, it's more apparent that I made the correct choice in choosing a guru. Every time I listen to Pandit Rishi, whether it be something personal or something in a gathering like this, there's always something that I learn. There's always something to glean from. Many years ago, when Pandit Rishi was reading at Ramayan in the park, we have an open park area in New York where many Pandits come to read each night from the Ramayan. There is a large gathering, and each night is a different Pandit, and one night Pandit Rishi was reading, and my dad said, well, we can all go to Ramayan in the park and listen to Pandit Ji read. So I went along, and while Pandit Rishi was reading his introduction, he says that the Ramayan is so vast, the Kand he had to read was so vast in its content that he didn't know where to start and where to end. And he said that he asked Mataji Radha, who is his Dharmapatni, what should I read? What should I talk about during my one night where I'm reading Ramcharitamanas? And he said that, she said to him, well, what do you want to tell people? What do you want to tell the audience that you have captive with you, that you have listening to you, listening to your experience as a Ramayan? What do you want to tell those individuals? And from that time on, anytime I have had to give any sort of discourse like this one, whether it be on a Sunday morning or to a larger audience or at a puja, that's always my touchstone when I began speaking. What do you want to tell people? What do I want to tell people? And every time I open the Ramayan or the Bhagavad, when I'm preparing something to tell, gatherings such as this, I always start with that seed of the thought. This is what Katha is to all of us who listen. This Yagna is going on for 7 sessions. And we may not remember every story and every detail, every single aspect that we're going to be delving into. And we may not have the full capacity to maintain the vast knowledge that Vyaasji is going to disseminate to all of us. But there are little things that we pick from Katha, from listening and engaging ourselves, that we will carry with us forever. For me, in that Katha, I don't remember every single detail from the Katha, but that one line is something that I carry with me forever, something that I use every day. And the more Katha you go to, the more of those gems you pick up as you go along, the more of those you can incorporate into your life. The more yajnas you go to, the more scriptures you listen to, the more scriptures you read, the more of those you can use to enrich your life with. And sometime far in the future, when your legs may not be strong enough to take you to Katha anymore, you will have a wealth of knowledge to glean from, to continue to enrich your life. So it is with this thought that we should continue to come to Yagna, to listen to our scriptures, to read our scriptures. And it is with that thought that we continue to attend and listen to Vyaasji. Thank you.
Very good guidance from the Father and from the Grandfather. So we listened to a very nice puja this afternoon. My brother Pandit Yoga, how nicely he go and everybody worship all the devotees that is there. And then now we get a chance to listen to his son. So now we're going to get a chance now that request. He got a nice bhajan for us, or a song. And it's his birthday tonight, so we're going to listen to him. So we get a chance to listen to what? 3 generations. Right? And we're waiting for 4th now. I think somebody's available, so keep the thing in mind. Anyway. Yeah.
Devotees, I hope I'm not taking up too much of time of Vyas, but everyone is asking me to sing a bhajan, and I would like to sing a bhajan tonight. Devotees, I would like to tell you a nice little story from the Bhagavad. Bhagwan Krishna and Sudama, they were very 2 good friends. They go to school together, they go to the Guru and have learnings. So one day the Guru Mata asked them to go and bring some wood that you have to cook and so on now. So the Guru Mata gave Sudama some hard chana in his pocket, and he said, I must divide it between myself and eat. So the 2 went into the forest. Bhagwan Krishna, Sudama, they went into the forest. And a heavy thunderstorm, rain, started to fall. And the 2 of them are on top of a tree. And Sudama began to take one chana from his pocket and eat it. And Bhagwan Krishna asked him, he said, friend, man, rain fall, thunder, storm and all these things. What you eat, man? Can you give me a piece? Let me eat? And he said, man, rain fall, my jaw knocked like that. He said, rain fall, my jaw knocked. So devotees, he got a curse there. But Bhagwan Krishna didn't curse him. He got a problem because he did a wrong. And he had to suffer for that wrong. And what happened to him? He became like a beggar then. Children, all of them suffer. Wife, all of them suffer. They cannot have food. From one clothes to another clothes. They can't have clothes even. And so the wife talked to him. He said, why don't you go and look for Bhagwan Krishna? You always tell me about him. And he said, where can I find him? He said, no, go. So he gave him a handful of rice, get him on his shoulder, and he's going. Chale Sham Sundar se milne Sudama, Jabde hoye man mein Hare Krishna Rama. Chale Sham Sundar se milne Sudama, Jabde hoye man mein Hare Krishna Rama. A bundle on his shoulder with some chow raw rice. And so while they're going, they're looking for where Bhagwan Krishna is. Because the wife told him, so go and search for him because he is. So he went for a while and he saw the gate man. So he asked the gate man that, do you know where Krishna is? So the gate man said, Krishna is on the Singhasan right now. Who are you really? He said, well, I am a devotee of Bhagwan Krishna. Can you let me go to see him? He said, no. Look your condition. I don't know when the last you put oil at your hair. Look your clothes. You cannot go and see Bhagwan Krishna at this time. He on the Singhasan right now. And so devotees, he said, no, go and tell him that Sudama is here. So they went and they tell Bhagwan Krishna. And this is what happened, devotees. Daur kar Singhasan Prabhu paidal padhare. Prabhu paidal padhare. Mahalo ke bhitar Sudama ji aaye. Mahalo ke bhitar Sudama ji aaye. Sine ke sine lagaye. Tried to find where he can find Bhagwan Krishna. So he met the gate man, and the gate man then the Singhasan, Bhagwan Krishna and the Singhasan now. So then anyhow they go and tell him that Sudama by the door, gate waiting for you. Devotees, look who is Bhagwan Krishna who worship. Daur kar Singhasan Prabhu paidal padhare. Daur kar Singhasan Prabhu paidal padhare. Sine ke sine lagaye ghan Rama. Krishna heard that Sudama the gate, Daurkar Singhasan Prabhu Paidal Padhari. You know, everyone look for the slippers and so on. Bhagwan Krishna didn't look for slippers, didn't look for nothing. He ran by feet. So much is the love of Bhagwan Krishna, love us whenever we worship him. Daurkar Singhasan Prabhu Mahal ko bahari. Bhine ke sine lagaye Ganeshama. He embraced him and he said, oh, friend, we were friends for a long time, but I didn't see you. And I'm so happy Bhagwan Krishna is talking to him. I am so happy to see you and meet with you. Nahala dola ke Prabhu bhojan karave. Tune ke सिंहासन Prabhu unko baithave. Tune ke सिंहासन Prabhu baithal padhare. Bhagwan Krishna held him, took him home. Nahala dhola ke Prabhu bhojan karave. Bhagwan Krishna with his own hands, he bathed Sudama. And he put him to sit nice on a wonderful bed. And Sudama began to think that, you know, look where I am, where Bhagwan Krishna put me, and look where my family is. So devotees, this is what the little story I want to tell you about the greatness of Bhagwan Krishna. After that, then Bhagwan Krishna dressed the chariot and brought him home. And so he cannot find his home. Bhagwan Krishna made a golden house for him. He cannot find his wife and his children. Bhagwan Krishna make all of them become young. And so it was very much touched according to the Bhagavad, that wonderful Katha. So devotees, I'm sorry to take up some of your time, but I hope that you enjoy Bhagwan Krishna Sudama Katha. It's very devotional.
Thank you, Das.
Sometimes you're Vyas, sometimes you're Vishwota.
When I get to your age, I can have such a good memory and very nice. Bhagwan bless you. May you live for many more birthdays. The devotees, without any hesitation, we go straight to our Vyaasji. And he's got a beautiful katha. So
Om Vardhanam Vartasamganam Rasanam Chandasapi Mangalanam Chakartaro Vande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasarupino Yabhyam vinana pashyanti siddha swantastamishwaram Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Pujantam Ram Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Kavita Shakhamarudham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Ulanghaya Sindho Salilam Salilam Yashokavanni Janakatmajaya Agayate naiva dadalankan नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् ॐ श्री हनुमते नमः श्री सीतारामाय नमः ॐ चरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटिप्रविस्तरम् एकैकमक्षरं प्रोक्तं महापातकनाशनम् उद्भवस्थितिसंहारकारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभां नीलाम्बुजश्यामल कोमलाङ्गम् सीता समारो हितवामभागम् पाणो महासायक चारुचापम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् We bow to Mata Saraswati and Bhagwan Ganesh and beg of their mercy, O Lord. You are the remover of all obstacles, and you bless the supplicant with knowledge and wisdom, and you remove all obstacles, O Lord. And O Divine Mother, you are the creator of all letters and songs and their meanings. O Divine Mother Saraswati, do shower your grace and mercy upon us. May you, O Lord Shankar and Parvati Mata, bless us. You are the originators of this tradition of Katha, telling and listening. And we salute you, Mother and Father of this universe, that you may bless us with the love to tell and to listen to Katha. We bow to Valmiki Ji and to Hanuman Ji, poets, as they were, who loved to tell and to listen to Ram Katha. I bow to Mata Sita and to all the saints and sages, for they are the repository of the goodness of Shri Ram, and they are the living, walking legend of Katha of Shri Ram. And I bow to Shri Ram himself, Nilambuja Komalangam, whose soft body resembles the blue lotus flower, soft and fragrant. Sita Samaru Pituama Bhagam, and who forever has Sita on his left side, who has Pano Mahasayak Charuchapam, who has the magnificent bow and mighty arrow by his side. I bow again and again to that Shri Ram of charm and of grace, and I pray that that Shri Ram, may his feet forever bless us. And just like how his feet brought life and freedom to Ahilya, may that feet also, from which the Gangaji has sprung, bring purity and life and goodness to our lives. This is my prayer. I pray that our principal Yajmans, who have sponsored this yag and brought us all together, may they enjoy peace and goodness in their life. And all of you who are Yajmans and have come here today to listen to Rama's glories, may you be blessed by his lotus-like feet. All of you who are listening from the comfort of your homes, through the medium of social media, I pray that the blessing of Shri Ram's lotus-like feet enter into your home and into your hearts and bring goodness and love to all your homes. I pray today that this day is a very significant day for this Mandir. We have all seen that the work has taken a turn towards completion. And we pray to Shri Ram that just like how in his holy dham of Ayodhya, his Mandir is being speedily put to completion, that this Mandir in Central Florida also be placed on the pedestal, also be placed, whereby this Mandir will be completed speedily. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. We pray to you, O Lord, that your most lotus-like feet touch us and bless us today. Bhajamana Ram Charan Sukadai. Bhajamana Ram Charan Sukadai. Everybody sing. Bhajamana Ram Charan Sukadai. Charan Sukhdai Bhajamana. Ram Charan Sukhdai Bhajamana. Ram Charan Sukhdai Bhajamana. Ram Charan Sukhdai Bhajamana. चरणान से निकसी सुरसाई शंकर जटा समाई. चरणान से निकसी सुरसाई शंकर जटा समाई. चरणान से निकसी सुरसाई शंकर जटा समाई. जटा शंकरी नाम पढ़ो है. जटा शंकरी नाम पढ़ो है. भुवन कारण आई. भजमन राम चरण सुखदाई. भजमन राम चरण सुखदाई. संतन जन सेवक सदा रहत सुखदाई. सोई चरण संतन सेवक सदा रहत सुखदाई. सोई चरण संतन जन सेवक सदा रहत सुखदाई. सोई चरण संतन जन सेवक सदा रहत सुखदाई. सोई चरण गौतम ऋषि नारी. सोई चरण गौतम ऋषि नारी. परसि परम पद भाई. भजमन राम चरण सुखदाई. सनकादि और ब्रह्मादिक शेष सहस मुख गाई संकादि और ब्रह्मादिक शेष सहस मुख गाई शेष सहस मुख गाई तुलसीदास मारुत सुत प्रभु की तुलसीदास मारुत सुत प्रभु की निज करत बड़ाई भज मन राम चरण सुखदाई 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 राम चरण सुखदाई राम चरण सुखदाई बोलिए भज रामचंद्र की सोई चरण संतन जन सेवत knowing the greatness of Shri Ram's feet, the saints and the sages incessantly, constantly worship his feet. And what is the blessing they get? Sada rahat sukhadai. They ever remain contented and happy by worshipping Shri Ram's feet. Soi Charan, last night we heard, that is the very feet of Shri Ram that touched Ahilya and transformed her. Soi Charan Gautam Rishi Nari Parasi Paramapad Pai. She immediately gained the ultimate of human existence, the ultimate goal that all of us want to achieve in life. We have short-term goals. Maybe we want to get our degrees, we want to get a good job, we want to get a home, we want to get a family, we want to get children, sometimes grandchildren. Those are short-term goals. But the most important of them all, the long-term goal, is to find the feet of the Supreme Lord. And how do we do that? When we come to Katha. When we listen to the glories of Bhagwan, we get to love him. And then we begin to chant his mantras and chant his names. And then we begin to worship him. And by worshipping and remembering him always, Bhagwan says that when we are ready to cross over this world, his name becomes the boat. His name becomes the Jahaj. His remembrance becomes that boat to cross us over from this world of samsara into the world of ultimate bliss and joy, which is his own abode. So Gautam Rishi's wife, Ahilya, she gained that abode. And anyone, man, woman, child. And there are some rare cases where animals too. Animals too were able to gain Bhagwan's feet. Do you all remember? Gajendra? Gajendra got moksha, got liberated by remembering the Lord, but he had to be beaten up a little bit by life's problems and difficulties. And then finally he remembered. He remembered Bhagwan. Something that he had learned in a previous life. He plucked a lotus flower and raised it up and prayed to the Supreme Lord, and Bhagwan came and delivered him from his miseries. Friends, how fortunate we are to get this glorious opportunity to listen to Katha, to listen to Bhagavad, to listen to Ram Katha. The gopis, they talk about Ram Katha. They talk about Ram Katha. Tav kathamritam तप्त जीवनम कविभिरीडितम कलमशापहम श्रवणमंगलम श्रीमदाततम भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जना कृष्ण हे 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 कृष्ण हे. They said, Lord, we're looking for you, remember? Just before their Ras Leela, Krishna called them with his basuri and they reached on the bank of the Jamuna river. And then a little bit, they thought that they owned Krishna because Krishna gave them personal attention. They thought that they exclusively owned Krishna. You know, there are some people who think that God belonged to them alone. So the gopis, each one was thinking Krishna belonged to me. And when they started thinking like that, Bhagwan disappeared from them. And they were searching for Bhagwan. Then they decided we have to come together. After Bhagwan disappeared from them, they decided they must come together. Like we are doing. And one of the things they said while they were searching for Bhagwan Krishna, Krishna, in your absence, while we are searching for you, Tava Katha Amritam, that your Katha, it is nectar, it is ambrosia, it is life-giving substance for us. Tava Kathamritam, Tapta Jivanam, for us whose life has been scorched by trials and tribulations of daily, day-to-day living. Oh Krishna, your Katha gives life to us. Like a drying plant which has received water, O Krishna, such is your Katha. And that is why for us, having the opportunity to listen to Katha, Ramayan, Bhagavad Gita, the Purans, Bhagavad Puran, Shiv Puran, when we get this chance to listen to it, let us grasp it and let us consider ourselves very, very fortunate that we were born with this human body and we are utilizing this human body and all our senses to engage them and the mind and our very being in the Bhagwan. After Ahilya was redeemed, I told you all last night, but for those of you who were not here, after Ahilya went to the heavenly regions, Bhagwan Shri Ram and his brother Lakshman in this Chaupahi, Goswami Tulsidas describes.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Jai Ram Lakshman Muni Sangram, Gaye Jahan Jat Pavan Ganga.
Shri Ram
Anuja Sahit Prabhu Ina Pranama, Anuja Sahit Prabhu Ina Pranama, Bahu Prakar Sukha Paya Hurama. holy Ganga. And the Muni instructed them, Tatah snatva yathanyayam santarpa pitridevata hutva chaivagnihotrani prascha chamritavadhavi. Instructed them, the Muni, Vishwamitra instructed Ram and Lakshman, please go take a dip in this holy water, which is life-giving, which is divine. And they bathed in the Ganga. And inside the Ganga, according to the Shastras, according to the rules enumerated in our Shastra, Santarpya Pitri Devata, in addition to bathing in the Ganga, they stood waist deep up to their navel and they remembered their ancestors. And Santarpya, some people say Valmiki Ramayana doesn't have all these things about Shraddha and so on. You know, that is not true. Valmiki Ramayana tells us about all these things. They held their hands like a cup and filling it. And from the Pitri Tirth, this part here, they made the water flow towards the south. And remembering their ancestors, they offered water from the holy Ganga. The word Santarpya or Tarpan means to please, to appease, to make satisfied by throwing the water of the Ganga and offering it in their ancestors' name. They satisfied, they satiated their ancestors. What do our ancestors need from us? Those who have departed, there are some people who boldly claim, they have gone, we have nothing to do with them. But for us Hindus, Sanatanists especially, we have a lot to do with our ancestors. They are the ones, because of them we are here. And when we take handfuls of water, especially water from the holy Ganga, and we pour it, and we remember them, we know for sure that wherever our ancestors are, they become pleased with us. And what they do? Wherever they are, in the heavenly regions, wherever they may be, they shower their blessings down upon the descendants who remember them and give gratitude and thanks to them. Can you imagine you work all your life? You work hard. You make a lot of sacrifice for your children. And then they inherit your sweat. You send them to college. You help them out in life as a parent. And then when they have received all of that from you, they become Nimakaram. Now tell me, are you going to be happy with such children or descendants? You might not be so angry as to curse them, but you're not going to be completely happy with them. But on the other hand, if they remember you, if they think about you, and if from time to time they connect with you, how happy that will make you feel. Wouldn't you give your Ashirvad? Wouldn't you give your benedictions? Wouldn't you give your blessings that my child, I am pleased with you? And wouldn't you pray in your own way, may God bless my son, may God bless my daughter, may God bless my grandchildren? You would do so even if they don't remember you, right? You would do so even if they don't remember or do anything for you. You will do that. But if they remember you, and you know that they remember you, how much more will you give benedictions to them? And the origin of the word tarpan means that those who offer the tarpan and remember their ancestors, they are seeking their blessings, they are seeking their guidance. And those who receive the libations of water and good thoughts while the tarpan is being done, they are happy also to reciprocate with blessing. Bhagwan Sri Ram and Lakshman were instructed, and after coming out of the water, the Muni Vishwamitra, according to the Valmiki Ramayana, which I'm reading from also, from the 35th Sarg up to the 44th Sarg, that means 10 books were written on this episode. 10 books. Let me repeat that. From the 35th Sarg of Valmiki, Sarg means book, to the 44th Sarg of Valmiki Ramayana, this episode of Gangaji is recounted by this holy saint, Valmiki Ji. And so first Ram and Lakshman, they did tarpan in the holy Ganga. Then they come out, and Vishwamitra instructed them to do Havan on the bank of the river. And having done Havan and making offerings of fruits and making offerings of prasad, when the Havan was finished, Ram and Lakshman joyfully being given the remnants of what was offered, they joyfully partook of those remnants, and they sat down on the bank of the river. It was not over. Bhagwan Shrotumichami Ganga Tripada Gaminim Trailokyam Rathamakramya Gata Nadanadi Patim. Shri Ram clasped his hands and he said to Vishwamitra, Bhagwan, O revered Guru, Shrotumichami, I am desirous, मैं सुनना चाहता हूँ. I am desirous of hearing. Kim? What? Kya? Gangam Tripatagam Nadhim. We have heard that Ganga has taken 3 courses. Tripat, 3 paths. And this is no ordinary river, we have heard. Trailokyam. Kathamakramya. We want to know how Ganga has traversed the 3 regions and Gata Nada Nadi Patim and has come here to become the mother of all rivers. Rama asks Vishwamitra, and so Vishwamitra listening to Sri Ram. I remember I told you how. Vishwamitra tell the short version first. What he told him? He told him, you know what? You see Gangaji here? Gangaji here is the daughter of Himawan and Maina. And who else is the daughter of Himawan and Maina? You all know, listen to the Ramayana, right? Who else? We're more familiar with the other daughter, Parvati Mata. Now, I don't remember if I told you Gangaji, because sometime I told you all, if I told you she was younger to Parvati or older. But whatever I said, she is the younger sister of Parvati. Remember that one, the younger sister of Parvati. And once, Vishwamitra said, the devatas always frequent the Himalaya. And they saw Ganga in human personification. most beautiful and charming. And they knew that she is so divine that she can, and filled with wonderful divine attributes, that she can become the purifying waters at her will. And so the devatas asked the father, Himavan, please, may we the devatas adopt your daughter and take her to heaven, to Swarg. And Himavan, being the king he was, and knowing, because the devatas told him, that your daughter will be, if she stay here with you, she will only be beneficial to this family and to the Himalaya. But if we take her up to the heavenly regions, to Swargalok, then she will be beneficial to the three worlds. And Himavan, who's always benevolent, giving and loving, Himavan said, O ye devatas, since you want to adopt my daughter for the benefit of not this world, but for the benefit of the heavens and the intermediary regions and the lower regions too, then, O ye devatas, may you be pleased to take her up to the heavens. Because the devatas told, O Himavan, your daughter, Swachanda Patakam Gangam Trailokya Hitakamya. She has the power of purifying, making holy anywhere she goes, any place that she goes. And so Himavan, being pleased with the request of the devatas, he let his daughter be adopted by all the devatas. Agni devata, Vatu devata, Surjo devata, Chandrama devata, Baso devata, Rudra devata, Ditya devata, Marto devata, Vishwe deva devata, Brihaspatir devata, Indro devata, Varuno devata. All 33 different categories of devatas. They adopted the daughter of Himavan, Ganga and Maina. This Ganga, and they took her to the heavenly regions. And the other daughter of Himavan, Parvati, she was married to Rudra according to Valmiki Ramayan. And Etatte sarvamakyatam yatha tripadgamini kam gata pratamam tata gatim gatimatam varaha saisha surariramyam shailendra tamaya tada suralokam samaruda vipapa jalvahini. And so this celebrated daughter of Himavan, the Srimad Valmiki Ramayana tells us, in this way, she went to the heavens and she stayed there as the Kshira Sagar in the heaven. It is she that entered into the Kamandalu of Brahma. You know what the Kamandalu is? They don't have Kamandalu in the Western world. You know, Lord Shiva has a Kamandalu in his hand. Yeah, it's a goblet with a spout, right? And a handle on it. So that's called a Kamandalu. Don't look for English words. They don't have it in the Western world. So we gotta go with the Hindi and Sanskrit word. Brahma holds a Kamandalu in his hand, and Ganga enters into that Kamandalu. And Brahma washes the feet of Lord Vishnu with that water from his kamandalu. And he constantly washes the feet of Lord Vishnu with that water, and the water never ends. Jai Gangama. The water never ran out from the kamandalu of Brahma. But that water flows into the heavenly regions as Kshira Sagar. Have you heard about the Milky Ocean? That water stays there. I used to ask myself as a young person, how is this possible? Is this like a little pigment of someone's imagination? And I refrained myself from reading this katha. I heard my dear brother Pandit Yoga read it in Letterkenny village. You know, he used to go out and do lots of prachars all over the place. And when he was reading in Letterkenny, he read about Ganga. And I said, you know what? I never read this katha at a jug. And I refused to read this katha. My mental block, I'm telling you my personal story. I refused to read this katha because I could not fathom how a river or a body of water can exist in the heavenly regions. But last year, only last year, I was watching the news. Myself and Radhaji was sitting there watching the news. And the weatherman, what do you call him? They study these things. The meteorologist, he announced on the news that suddenly this atmospheric river opened up and there was a sudden deluge on the highway. I said, wow, that's it. That is it. Atmospheric river. Modern scientists, because the weather people, they're not ordinary news anchors, you know, I think they get more pay. Because they have gone to school to study the science of the weather, and if they can say and talk about an atmospheric river, then whatever is written in my Ramayan gotta be true. Right, Pandit Yoga? So after all these years, I decided we need to talk about Ganga Jima. And so Vishwamitra tells Bhagwan Shri Ram, O Ram, this is the celebrated daughter of Himavan. In the Kamandalu of Brahma, and as she flows down to wash Vishnu's feet, she is called Mandakini. The heavenly stream, visible in the form of the Milky Way. And at last, it is she who descended upon this earth. And being trapped in the matted locks of Lord Shiva, it is she who was released down again. And it is she who went into the nether regions, O Ram. And Vishwamitra said, O Ram, this is the short version. Bhagwan Ram listened, and Bhagwan said, Dharamayuktamidam Brahmam Katitham Paramam Tvaya. Oh, Brahman, Dharma Brahmayuktam idam brahman katitam paramam tvaya. What you told me is so filled with an abundance of righteousness. Bistaram bistaragyosi divyamanushasam bhavam trin pato hetuna kena plavaye lokapavini. Ram says, oh Bhagwan, oh my master Vishwamitra, you just whet my appetite. I want to know a little bit more about this Ganga. We have heard, but oh Master Vishwamitra, I would like to hear more. And Vishwamitra being pleased. You know, even then the saints and sages know that sometimes you gotta make things short. But then if there are people who want to hear more, they're gonna say, tell us a little bit more, huh? Bhagwan Ram asked because he was eager to hear about Ganga. And so Vishwamitra tells him this katha. In this chaupai, Vishwamitra opens up the mind of Shri Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram,
प्रभु तव कुल एक राजा नाम सकरति भूलोक विराजा
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
एक समय भाविनी जो साथा एक समय भाविनी जो साथा गए पर हे दूर घुराता श्री राम
Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram.
Vishwamitra said, Kahamuni Prabhu Tava Kulai Raja. What I'm reading now is all enumerated in Valmiki ji. But Jwala Prasad, who Pandit ji they know very well, Pandit Jwala Prasad Mishra, he was the first person, the first Pandit to translate Awadhi Bhasha of Goswami Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas into standard Hindi language. And Pandit Jwala Prasad, my Nana and Pandit Ji, Baljit, and all the older Pandits in Guyana, it is that Ramayana which had only Hindi inside. It had Awadhi Hindi and it had Manak or standard Hindi inside. That was the Ramayana that they read because there was no Ramcharitmanas with Hindi and English. They used to read that. And Pandit Jwala Prasad, from time to time he wrote what is called Chepak. Chepak means work which is not necessarily written by Goswami Tulsidas, but Pandit Jwala Prasad put the same thing that he thinks that we need a little elaboration on. He put them in same kind of style like Goswami Tulsidas, but he was honest enough from time to time to tell us, Atha Chepak, that this now he's starting a Chepak. But this part I have verified personally. that this part of the Utpati, the coming down of Ganga Maya, Pandit Jwala Prasad has been true in writing the Dohas and Chaupais. He has been true to the work of Valmiki Ji. And so he tells Ram, I thought of telling you all that. He thought of telling Shri Ram and Lakshman that, O Ram and Lakshman, in your kul, in your family, there was a king. His name was Sagar, not Sagar. Some people say Sagar. Okay? Sagar. Naam Sagar Tihulok Biraja. Sagar was well known. Problem is, just like his descendant Dashrath, Sagar didn't have a child to take over his kingdom. Sagar thought that with him the dynasty of Raghu Kul will end. That this Ikshvaku Vansh will come to an end. That a solar dynasty will come to an end with him. And so Sagar was married, and with consultation, those days, he consulted, he said, I have to have an heir to the throne. He had another marriage. So he ended up with 2 wives. Unfortunately for Sagar, still there was no heir to take over the throne. And so Sagar decided, I'm not going to go for a 3rd one. Sagar decided that he was going to go try to get some divine intervention. And Sagar, together with his 2 wives, their names are mentioned. I'm not going to tell you many names because I always hear people say, too many names. They went to a Rishi's ashram in the forest. I'm not going to tell you that Rishi's name too, it's not important. But if you want to know, I can tell you later on. They went to a Rishi's ashram in the forest. And Sagar, next to the ashram, he and his 2 wives, they sat down for a long time in penance. One day, the Rishi saw them sitting there in deep penance, and the Rishi felt very sorry for them and asked them, why are you here in this forest? What are you doing? And King Sagar told the Rishi, he said, oh great Rishi, I do not have someone to take over my kingdom. I'm getting old. I married once, I married twice, and no issue. Not issue in terms of problems, okay? No children. Children are called issues too, on the And so the Muni, the Rishi and Muni, they are all great holy saints and sages, felt sorry for them. And he said to them, listen, I will bless you according to whatever boon you want. Whatever blessing you want, I shall bless you with that. But he didn't ask Sagar what Sagar wanted. He turned to the first wife. He asked the first wife, what do you want? And she said, look, I want 1 child. Strong. A strong child. Where she said, so be it. Turned to the other wife of King Sagar and asked her, what would you like to be blessed with? Now, she was a little upset that her husband took her in the forest. She didn't really believe in all these things, Rishi's boons and all these things. So in her mind, so say the saints and sages, in her mind, let me see if you're really powerful. You know, sometimes you ask one Pandit and a Pandit give you one advice. You say, Mahina, all of that powerful, let me call the other one. That's how our society has become. The other one probably know a little bit more and think, let me see what he was in. So that faith is not there. So she didn't have full faith. He said, let me see if this Rishi really powerful. She turned around and said, give me 60,000. 60,000 sons. Rishi said, that's what you want. So do it. And it came to pass. The first wife had one son, and the second wife, tiny, tiny, tiny. You know, they said like a gourd. All the tiny babies were born. 60,000 of them. They had the science at that time. It might seem, you know, when you read and you hear, especially nowadays, there are some people who go and take fertility treatment. They go there wanting one child. Sometimes they come out with 6, 7, 8. No, I don't know how, don't ask me how 60,000, right? But she was trying to test the sage. She was trying to test the sage. And so Sagar being the king, they had the science of the time. All these little babies were placed in incubators. Our Ramayan tells us that the incubators kept them warm and kept them nourished with special substances, nutritious substances that resembled the amniotic fluid of a mother, and they were nurtured until they came to full term. 60,000. The first boy, the first child, the one that was born full term, he was bad like sword. Wicked. He grew up wicked. The saint says because his mother didn't really believe in the power of the Rishi. And so every day the inhabitants of Ayodhya, because Sagar used to rule over Ayodhya, used to come and complain to the king that your elder son, I'm not going to tell you his name. His name is not so important. Your elder son, when the little boys will go into the Saryu River, you know, to play and swim, you know, we as little boys, we love to go in the trenches and in the river corner and swim. And then if there's some wicked one there, they'll come and try to dip us in the water and drown us. A complaint used to come that every day he's tormenting the children while they were playing in the Saryu River, trying to get them drowned. One day it became unbearable. The King Sagar was tired of hearing complaints. And you know what he did? The one hope that he had that would take over his kingdom and run Ayodhya as a just and truthful king turned out to be bad. King Sagar said, "You are not fit to be the king." And therefore he banished him into the forest. When he was banished into the forest, the king heard that he got married and he had a son. The first child. And the king sent his ministers, go and ask him if I can raise my grandson in the palace, because I do not want someone who is wicked to raise my grandson. And he was happy to get rid of his son. He sent his own son with the ministers for the king and his wife to raise that son. I'll tell you his name. His name is Anshuman. The other 60, they were still in incubators waiting for their right time. The king was so happy with his grandson, just like how Pandit Baljit really happy with his grandsons. The king was very happy with him. He was so pleased. Now he felt that he had somebody who will be able to take over the throne, because the boy was good at heart. Anshuman was good, he was kind. And you know what else the king observed? King observed that Anshuman was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. He observed that Anshuman was a great bhakta, a great lover of God. And so, King Sagar, he decides to do something that every king does when they feel strong, powerful, and happy. What did he do?
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai
असत हृदय नृप के सुख ऐसे मुनि ननीन सलिल रह जैसे
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
बहुरी नृपति मन की विचारा आय भय भूपन सौदा हमारा आय भय भूपन सौदा हमारा
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
रुचिर वेदिका एक बनाई रुचिर वेदिका एक बनाई देखत बने करनी नहीं जाई श्री राम जय राम
Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
The king decided that he was going to do a yagna. What kind of yagna was this? Kings normally in those days perform what is called an Ashwamedh Yagya. Ashwamedh Yagya means a yagna after which it is completed. The king will decorate a horse, the most powerful horse in his kingdom. He will dress that horse. They will garland that horse. They will do all kinds of decoration on that horse. And they will let the horse go. And wherever the horse go, if that horse is not challenged, that king will become the emperor of that land. And in this way, the king will increase his reign. He will increase his power. And he will take up more and more kingdoms wherever the horse goes. Ruchira Bedhika Ekabanai. In Ayodhya, a beautiful Bedhi was made. Bedhika, Vedhi, was made for this Yagna. And the Rishis and Munis were called to perform the Yagna. And whilst the Yagna was being performed, the horse was decorated. And while this Yagna was being performed, the miracle 60,000 sons, they were growing in strength and prowess by the power of that Yagna. Indra, the leader of the Devatas, saw this. And even the Devatas are sometimes jealous. Indra became jealous. That if Sagar is to let go this mighty and powerful horse, then Sagar will be equal in might and power like Indra. And so Indra, what he did, even before the Purnahuti was completed, very quietly and stealthily, Indra steals the horse, and nobody knew. The news after the Purnahuti was finished, the news reached the ears of the king. And the king became very upset with Indra. And he called first his sons, because during the process of the Yagna, he heard that Vajra Kesaman, like thunderbolt, were their hands, mighty and powerful. And he sent all of them, says, someone has stolen the horse for the Ashwamedh. Go and get it. And dear friends, these 60,000 sons, 60,000 Sagar ke bete, 60,000, they were adamant, they received the instructions of their father. And the father told them, it doesn't matter where you go, go and get that horse. And so they went listening to the orders of their father. They went. Pula, Bartika, Upavan, Bag, Nadi, Bavadi, Kuwait, Alab. They searched every riverbank, every garden, every place they searched. They couldn't find the horse. They came back and told their father. Their father said, listen, Sagar said, no, if you can't find the horse on the surface of this earth, start digging. When they started digging and tunneling the earth, the Devatas were worried. They went to Brahma, and Brahma told them, don't worry, they're all arrogant. 60,000 sons, they're all arrogant. Very quickly, they will meet their end. And dear friends, they reached, by tunneling, they reached to where Indra had taken the horse. Indra had taken the horse to Kapil Muni's ashram, next to Kapil Muni's ashram, and tied the horse there. And when these 60,000 sons of Sagar saw the horse there, they didn't just go and take the horse. They said, look at this Rishi, this Muni. He is so foolish to take our father's horse, and he is not a real Muni. They disturbed Kapil Muni. And being so arrogant, Kapil Muni opened his eyes. And all 60,000 sons of Sagar was burnt to ashes. Sagar waited a long time for his sons to come back. And instead they didn't come back, so he called the other son, the grandson. He says, Anshuman, please go and look for this horse. And Anshuman went. And everywhere he went and he saw the rishis and munis, with great humility, he bowed his hand and his head. He clasped his hand and bowed his head. And he asked, please, can you please tell me where my chachas went. Tell me where the 60,000 chacha went. And everybody he met, his sweet words led to good answers, and they pointed the direction. And then on the way to the place where Sagar's sons were burnt to ashes, he met Garudaji. And Garudaji said, go, you will meet the ashes of your uncles, your chachas. Go there, you will meet them. And he went and he saw the sage Kapil, and he bowed his head in humility to Kapil. And he said, these are my chachas. They were sent here by my grandfather to search for his horse, his Ashwamedh, for his Yagna. And if Kapil Muni told him that your uncles were so arrogant that they disrespected me and I burnt them to ashes. But the only way they can be redeemed, take this horse. Let your grandfather finish the yagna. And when the waters of Ganga will come down from the heavenly regions, then they will be redeemed. Dear friends, Anshuman represents that personality who is endowed with knowledge, with wisdom, and who is humble, and who is kind, and who can achieve their goals with sweet words and kindness. And his 60,000 uncles, although they had might of arm, they were so very arrogant and foolish. Anshuman took the horse. The yagya was completed. But Sagar was not happy at the loss of his 60,000 sons. He blessed his grandson. He blessed his grandson. He put his grandson, Anshuman, on the throne. And Sagar proceeded to the Himalaya. What he went to do? He went to do prayers, tapasya, so that the celestial stream Ganga may come from the heaven. Boli Ganga Maya. Jai. When you come tomorrow, we'll continue this kanta. We will sing Shri Ram Vijay Mantra and conclude. What is Shri Ram Vijay Mantra? Anybody can tell? Shri Ram Jai Ram. Everybody say it. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai
की
बोलिए व्यास भगवान की जय। Well, that katha is indeed a really beautiful katha, and I've studied in our time, as Pandit Rishi Ram with Vyaasji has just said, it was very difficult for us to have materials to read. And one time, my personal, very close friend of mine, used to be my drummer, Vyaasji Rishi, and I was their Pandit, and his mother, God bless her soul, she told me, Panditji, I want you to read a Yagna for me. But I don't want you to read anything else. For 4 days, I only want you to read about Ganga Devi. So for 4 days, I must read only for Ganga Devi. And I search the nook and cranny and every place I can find information about Ganga Devi. And I read that Yagna, it was about 1984 or so. And when I finished reading the Yagna, she was so happy. I've gone to different Pandits all over. And in those days, I did not have a Valmiki Ramayan. And I looked at Tulsidas-ji Ramayan, and Tulsidas-ji Ramayan just has one chapai on Ganga Devi, and that's done. I can't read that in 4 days. So I went around searching. So I went to Blackbush, I went everywhere, and I had a very good Pandit friend in Lesbeholen, and I went to his house, and he had some beautiful, small Ramayana of Valmiki-ji. And I borrowed his Ramayana, and I brought them home. And all Sanskrit and Hindi, and I read that Ramayana, and really enjoyed that katha. Only to realize that, you know, this is a Tulsi Mala. And this Mala is held by one thread, one string. But this Tulsi, even though it's Tulsi Mala, all this Tulsi is not probably from one tree. They're from many trees, maybe. And when the person who makes the mala would have mixed up all these pieces together and picked up, he probably picked from several trees, and he put 108 here. But there's one thread that holds them all. That thread in Sanatan Karma is Ganga. That stream runs through the Veda and all the Puranas. That name is found in all our scriptures. The glories of Ganga Devi is immense. And our Vyaasji is doing such an excellent job bringing that forth to us tonight with so much meandering to bring the essence of Ganga. And it was long before Vyaasji went to India to study. And when he went to India, today India is the only country where you can have the cheapest vacation and the most marvelous vacation you can ever have. And everybody chooses to go to Dubai. I don't know. Let me walk you around New York City and you'll be fooled. I don't know what you're spending your money elsewhere. You know, please, just go another flight. That's where you have the cheapest and the most beautiful vacation. But in those times that Panditji went with Guyana money in exchange for rupees, it was probably, very, very, very difficult for him when he was in India. But out of his very meager amount of money that he had, he bought a beautiful booklet of Ganga Devi and he mailed it to me in Guyana. I received that book with Ganga Devi on it and I was so happy. So I have a very unique love for Ganga Devi. And when I visited in 2007, my wife nearly had to scramble me by my hair and hold me back because guess what? Ganga was taking me away. I was standing in the Ganga and it just took me by my leg and it was taking me away. She grabbed onto me and, held on to me. So Ganga Devi. This time I went to Ganga. We were standing in Haridwar and the Ganga was low. And within 5 to 7 minutes, the Ganga was where I was standing. Climbed the stairs and came all the way to the top. I'll show you that picture. I still have it. It's amazing. Well, Chana was there, she can stand testimony to it. So devotees, Ganga Devi is very special. I had 2 unique experiences in 2007 and both experiences repeated themselves this time. I went to Kedarnath and the first time I went there, I thought I was going to die. And the second time I went there, I thought I was going to die. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you very much, Vyaasji. And it is indeed a blessing. Only, I had 3 judgmen on Sunday morning here, and I told them the same katha because it was Tirat. And the rest has gone to Gangamai, but we brought Gangamai here. Only when we hear these kathas, then Ganga will come here. The Tirat will flow here. And the Tirat will purify and sanctify these places where we are having Yagna. So once again, we are so grateful that when all the devatas are present, Ganga Devi needs to be present. And this is the manner in which we can invite her here. Prem se bole Ganga Maya ki. Thank you very much. I think we still have time for one bhajan, so we will sleep to listen to our Haji, and after which we will take our time.
Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai Sitaram,
Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai Sitaram,
Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai Sitaram,
Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai
Sitaram Jai Sitaram.
प्रेम से बोलिए सियापति
चंद्र की जय।
Okay, we shall all stand for our tea. We just want to send you home early. I don't know why we asked for the reading so early tonight, but you know, I think we just want to leave the best for tomorrow. So you can come back and enjoy God's glory.
यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मन्तानि कृतानि च तानि तानि विरक्षन्ते प्रदक्षिणाय पदे आरती की जय श्री रघुवर की दशरथ नंदन की आरती की
Gurudevo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Yo Shanti Antarisharam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rama Shanti Sarva Shanti Vanaspati Shanti Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Shanti Hari Om Shanti 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 प्रेम से श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की महापति महादेव की पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो व्यास महाराज की जय। Thank Vyaasji for wonderful katha once again. And devotees, please take your Panchamrit and Arti and so on. And if you look out there, Pandit Joga didn't get a chant then with the beams are going up. The posts were up, about 9 of them are up there today. And the next come the beam. So we are making progress. And it's all your help. God bless you, and you continue to have to decide. This is the best chance to make an investment. When you put your money into a temple, it will be there for hundreds of years. We're not sure about other investments. So please help them if you can. All right. So take your RT and switch on it now, and I think Bhojan is prepared every night. I'm going to eat very full against that.
Right.
Thank you.
Arun?
How about you?